After a year of waiting, we're finally able to check out LawBreakers, the game from Nexon, Boss Key Production, and the developer of Gears of War. Let's check it out. Hey everyone, Average Gamer here, ready to give you my review of the latest closed beta for the game LawBreakers. After a year-long anticipation, Boss Key Productions and the Gears of War developer have finally delivered on the highly anticipated game that they promised, where zero gravity, criminals, vigilantes, and cops go at it in futuristic warfare. But does it really hold up? Let's find out. First off, I gotta say that after the year-long anticipation and the reveal trailer that they gave to us at E3, this game became a little bit of a letdown compared to what I was expecting from it.
3, 2,
While the trailer really seemed it wanted to capitalize on the zero gravity aspect of the game, as well as the police officers, vigilantes, and criminals of the future going at it in all-out warfare, I felt it really failed to capitalize on really any of those points. While the lore they tried to instill in the trailer is certainly in there, as well as the zero gravity aspect of the game, it feels so much more of a gimmick sprinkled in just to kind of add aspects to the game that really aren't necessary, just so they can try to capitalize on other popular team-based games such as Overwatch or Paladins. While some maps, I believe, actually were designed for the anti-gravity in mind by the developers and really add to the gameplay and the fun, and I think the aspect the developers were trying to go for with the anti-gravity, there are other maps that really lose focus of that and make it really confusing and sometimes really unnerving on what you're actually supposed to do and what direction you're supposed to go. There's some maps that are so confusing that you don't know whether or not you're in an area with gravity or without gravity. You find yourself jumping up and down as you cross thresholds, wondering if you're going through another team's starting area, your team's starting area, an area with gravity, or an area without gravity, because there really is no very good indication on what kind of area you're in. Like I said, there are some maps that really do take advantage of the anti-gravity and really play to the game's strengths, and I think really give the feel and the gameplay that the developers wanted when they were creating the game. Unfortunately for these other maps that you get thrown into randomly, they aren't so fun with the anti-gravity. Sometimes you find yourself rather just staying on the ground and playing it like a regular first-person shooter, thus taking away from the fun of when you're playing a game that's supposed to be experiencing anti-gravity. Another aspect that really takes away from the anti-gravity part of the game is some of the characters and their abilities. While some characters, like the Assassin or the Vanguard, have the ability to maneuver while they're in the anti-gravity, there are other characters that sometimes when you jump in the air, you're just stuck floating there until your body decides it wants to hit the ground, thus leaving you an open target for anybody wanting to open fire on you, making it kind of a difficult thing to do to play as any other classes other than the Assassins or the Vanguard. One good thing this game has going for it, though, is its characters and its abilities. The characters do differentiate themselves from the characters that are in other team-based shooters, like Paladins and Overwatch. All the characters in this game play different, and all really seem to fit into this game and this environment, with the exception of some of them with the anti-gravity and their ability to maneuver. I found myself being able to jump from character class to character class in the middle of a game and really have fun and pick up the character's abilities and the way they perform without having too much trouble. But the one thing I feel that Boss Key has failed to capitalize on so far as I've been playing the closed beta is the ability to make sure that every team is balanced, and force that balance by only letting so many people pick certain classes per team. That really gets ruined when everybody is picking the Assassin or everybody is picking the Enforcer, and then you have nobody to play support. When teaming up with random people, I think it's important that Boss Key remembers that everybody's going to have a favorite class that they like to play as, and often I would find myself in a game full of a bunch of people playing as the Assassin, or the Enforcer, or the Vanguard, and everybody was focusing on shooting each other while nobody was focusing on the objective or making sure that the team followed through with getting the objective to the goal. While often I would find myself in the game with other people that are used to playing these team-based objective games and were able to follow through with making sure our team was well balanced and working together, regardless if we had a mic or not, it was oftentimes I would get paired up with random people that all they wanted to do was kill, and the objective never got accomplished really for either team on very often an occasion. And before the game comes to mass production, there is a few things with these objectives that I would like to see ironed out One of the main ones being is capturing the points. Oftentimes I would find myself being able to go and just stand on the point until it unlocked, and as soon as it unlocked, I then took the point. There was no reset. Your character did not go back to your home base in between capturing all the points, so you were forced to run back to the point. Once you captured the point, you were able to just stand there and wait until the point unlocked again, then capture it again. There was no real fight as for capturing points. As you can see in the video above, I was able to just stand there most of the time and capture the points. And also, when you captured that point, it was your point. The enemy could not take it from you. Once you captured all 3 points, that was it. That was the round. You had the point. And because the game did not reset between rounds and you did not have to move from those spots, a lot of times you could just stand in your spot and capture the point over and over and over again while everybody else just fought amongst themselves. Because honestly, while I was playing the game, 80% of the time, people cared more about running around shooting everybody than they did about the objective. And with no points being based on team kills, it really took away from the game. There was really no point in killing anybody other than to defend something and defend a point, and nobody was defending anything a lot of the time. All in all, this game has a lot of really good concepts and has a lot of really good groundwork done for what could possibly be a really awesome game. But honestly, with so many bugs in it right now, it's really hard for me to give you a great review on what the final product is going to be. During a couple games of Blitzball, there were multiple times where one of us would have the ball and we'd run to our goal, and all of a sudden the ball would respawn in the starting area and we just would have to go and redo the whole thing over again. Or there was a couple of times where one of us would be running away from an enemy and just run over the enemy's goal, and it would give us a score and we didn't even have the ball. Things like this make it very, very hard to really have a good time playing the game. Now, with many games like this that are made with the Unreal Engine 4, this game is very resource intensive. Even to just record this video, I had to turn the settings down a little bit on the game and turn my video recording settings down so that I could actually play with a good frame rate and actually give some decent video while I was actually playing, so I wasn't taking other people's video of gameplay. All in all, there's a lot of things they really could do to try to polish this game up a little bit more as far as performance-wise goes. The pre- and post-games menus especially, they get very sticky. A lot of times you sit and they hang and you wait for them to load, and they're very unresponsive. A lot of times you can hear the noises in the backgrounds of your rewards stacking up or your experience stacking up and the screen's really not doing anything. It's just a very resource-intensive game. And as well as the matchmaking times, a lot of the loading queues are very, very long. As of right now, there are 2 different play styles. You can choose quick play or you can choose custom. And every time I've chosen a custom match, I am never actually able to successfully do it. It ends up sitting and it throws me into a game as just myself, and I'll run around for 30 to 45 minutes waiting for other players that never arrive. Quick play really is the only way to even get in a match right now, and like I said, that's all randomized. And also, the post-matchmaking lobby, also very confusing, something they can work on a little bit. After you end a match, it gives you the option to stay on that server to jump into another game, and you can vote to stay or you can not vote, and then you leave. Now, one would believe that if you don't click anything and you're wanting to go back to the main menu and possibly go to customization to apply skins to your characters or change different things here and there, maybe change your game settings. One would think that if you don't vote and you leave the server that you're not going to get thrown into another match. Well, that's another thing. You've got to actually pay attention, because even if you don't vote to stay in that server, it'll kick you out to the lobby, and up in the top right hand corner it'll already be queuing you for another match. That's one thing I think they should take off there. If you want to leave the server and start another match, you should leave the server, go back to the lobby and click play again. Because at the beginning of the game, it was really confusing to me that I would leave a server and I'd be messing around with the options without realizing that, oh crap, it's throwing me into another game. That's one option I think they should get rid of completely. If you vote to leave the server, I think you should just end the matchmaking until you queue up again. That's just my thoughts, so that's a personal opinion. Like I said though, this game is very resource intensive, and if you are not packing, I would say probably at least GTX 760 you probably won't even be able to run this game on low. It is very resource intensive. My custom built machine, I mean, I'm able to run this game on high when I'm not recording. When I'm recording, I try to run it on high. It somewhat runs, but I usually end up having to turn it down to medium if I want steady recording. So if you're planning on doing any kind of game streaming while on top of running this game, you're going to need a pretty powerful video card and probably a pretty decent processor. But that's as all these games that are coming out of the Unreal Engine 4 seem to be pretty resource intensive, including the new Unreal Tournament that's out right now. I plan on doing a review on that later this week. It's also a very resource intensive game though, so anything out of the Unreal Engine right now is pretty much on the same level. So now when I was calculating what I was going to score this game and what score I was going to give it, I was actually going to give it a little bit higher of a score, because while it is very buggy, regardless of what my score is now, it's all, there should be an asterisk next to all of it, because this is a closed beta. It's still early. My review might change entirely by the time it's actually released, which I will follow up and do another review on the next closed beta date. When they do another closed beta, I will do another review, as well as when they finally release the game. Now, as of right now, my score was going to be a little bit higher, actually quite a bit higher than what I'm actually going to score the game. But due to an article that I found while I was actually preparing to do this review, my score has dropped substantially, and that review was that they are not releasing this on consoles. So those of you that play on consoles as well, it will be a Steam exclusive, which is a bummer. It does support Xbox controllers natively. It's not very good though. The motion feels pretty fluid, but as for aiming and shooting, you're going to need a mouse and keyboard for this game. So it is going to be a Steam exclusive, which to me wasn't that big of a downside, even though it does upset me for other people that want to play this game on other systems. I've got friends that don't have a gaming PC that would like to play it on their consoles. They are not going to have that opportunity. But another thing that made me lower the review and the number that I scored this was that originally it was intended to be a free-to-play game, similar to Paladins. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the structure of Paladins, but the way they do it is actually pretty cool. You can work to gain new champions or new heroes, new characters, new skins, and you can work hard without spending a dime and have something to work towards, which is what I was hoping they were going to do with this game. Unfortunately, they have said that this game is no longer going to be free to play. It is going to, cost a premium. I'm not sure what it's going to cost when it does come out. Now, if it was $20 to $30, and once they get all the bugs worked out, I would say it's probably worth it. But if they were going to charge a premium $60 for this, knowing there's probably still going to be microtransactions, and there's still going to be a cash shop, to me, that's not worth it. This game is enjoyable, but only in small doses, if that makes sense. Sort of like how Evolve was when Evolve first came out. It was a fun game, it was a great concept, but it was a game that when you were bored, you picked up, you played for a little bit, you put it down. Not a game you really got sucked into and really grinded on. And I think making this game not free to play and making it cost $60 would be a huge mistake by the company. I don't think they would get nearly as much response, because for me, I would rather spend, $40, $50 on just cosmetics and just work to get my characters than I would spending $60 for a game, having all the characters, knowing how they all play, not really having a character that I really like or a new character to work towards, and then just still spending the $40, $50 for my cosmetics, because this game, like all the other games out there, is going to have microtransactions. They're going to have a cash shop. So I think that really impacted why I lowered the score so much. But as of right now, I am going to give this game a 4.5. Not because it is not an enjoyable game. The game is enjoyable, it is fun, but it's fun in small doses, and with all the bugs right now, it's really hard to get into it. It's really hard to get into the fun and actually play a game and enjoy it. Now, it's not really an aggravating game. There's another game I'm going to do a review on later this week that it scores higher than this game, than I scored this game, but is actually, to me, less fun. So my score is not based on just the enjoyability of the game, it's based on how well it was developed. So later this week when I do a review on another game, you'll see what I mean. It gets a higher score as far as development goes, but it is a highly frustrating game in its current state, and it's highly aggravating. So I do enjoy playing this game. Like I said, I don't think I'll spend $60 on it if it comes out, but I do think that if it is $20, $30 and they work through all the bugs, that would be something I would spend. But let me know what you guys think. I do currently have 4 LawBreakers keys to give away for Steam. I have 4 of them. Just like, comment, or subscribe. Leave me a comment down in the comment section on maybe a game you'd like to see reviewed. I'm going to pick 4 random people that leave comments. You 4 people will get a private message from me with a closed beta key. The closed beta actually ends tomorrow night for LawBreakers for this closed beta, but it will probably start back up here in the next week or 2. I know they've already gone through, this is the second one, so it'll start back up probably again here in like a couple weeks, and then you've got the game on your computer, so whenever it does kick back on, you can jump back into the closed beta. So like, comment, or subscribe. I will see you guys next time.